Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dead Formats, a movie podcast that takes on the wild stuff. You know, the stuff people laugh at on Letterboxd. I'm your host, Chris, and this episode we're going to be discussing Guyver, Dark Hero from 1994, and today I'm joined by two very special guests who are totally out of control. DK, Chris, welcome. How are you doing this evening?
I have no destiny.
That's how you start it? Really? I mean, first you show your ass when you turn on your camera.
I'm sorry,
and
that
then
was not on purpose.
And then now this.
I had to close that curtain, and I thought, well, maybe he won't let me in yet, and it'll be fine. But instead, yeah, surprise.
Yeah, so...
yes, it was.
DK and Chris are the co-hosts of Nerds, Geeks, and the Kitchen Sink. They were featured on this show together in Season 1, where we talked about the first live-action video game adaptation, Cyber Ninja.
People should 100%. I mean, go watch that movie. It's such a blast. It's such
great.
An interesting. I mean, like, it's the very reason why you come to a show like this. Like, that's the kind of thing that I want to be presented to me in this kind of a thing. And holy shit, like that was so much fun. I've watched it again since. I literally watched it like 2 months ago.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I really did. Yeah.
And
I liked
even
it
if you watch it in Japanese with no subs,
Three times, it's still good.
You're like, oh, that's what they meant. Okay.
Yeah. I had Google Translate the third time.
That's so funny.
So our Dead format this week is a straight-to-video sequel to one of my childhood favorites. We're talking about Guyver 2, Dark Hero. So, guys, how familiar were you with the Guyver franchise prior to this?
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was pretty well known, or I guess it was pretty well known to me. I knew the anime, I saw the original. Now, I knew there were sequels, but this is honestly my first time seeing a live-action sequel to the original. So, this was a blast. I'll say it right off the bat.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so similar for me. Guyver was a fun thing to find on TV late at night. I had what my best friend growing up loved it. And for a while, like, he had seen it and I hadn't. And he kept talking about Guyver. I'm like, MacGyver? Like, I didn't know there was a difference between Guyver and MacGyver. So then I was like, hey, I found that thing you were talking about.
Remember that scene where MacGyver crushes a fishman's head?
I was like, because I was watching MacGyver and we're on the phone and I'm like, I found that thing you're talking about, but it's just, he's just like escaping from a jail cell with like a pin and something, like a rolled up newspaper. I don't really understand why you were saying there was like ninjas and shit. Maybe it was a different episode. and then we watched it together and I was like, oh, I'm enlightened. Yeah, the original Guyver is such a fun, like, kind of gross out superhero.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a step below Ninja Turtles, but also
a step above in a way.
I was kind of going there. Yeah. In some ways it delivers more what I want to see, I think. It's a baffling, strange, not altogether well put together movie, but at the same time, like, it is such a fun thing to see, and the effects are out of this world. They're so good,
for sure,
unbelievable, and the cast is stacked.
Oh yeah,
Mark Hamill. Of the original Guyver. Okay, I say stacked, but it's like there's face after face that, like, if you're a genre fan, like, if you know some of the weirder movies, like, you will recognize almost everyone in that movie. Yeah,
because you've got two people from Reanimator. You got David Gale and Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah,
Berryman. His first name is escaping me. Is it Michael?
Oh yeah, Michael. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yep. That famous guy from a million genre movies. He's way J.J. Walker.
Oh
yeah.
Which actually, I saw this so young that like, I learned what the genre of music rap was from the movie Guyver.
From the Guyver.
I remember distinctly, like, for whatever reason, it was just me and one cousin home by ourselves when we watched this, and he was trying to, like, talk about some scene, and he kept saying the rapper, and I was like, what do you mean? No one was rapping, like, wrapping paper. And then he, like, explained it to me after a very long back and forth. So, like, yeah, I didn't know what rap was until Jimmy J.J. Walker dressed up as a reptilian rabbit.
Thanks, Guyver.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
So, yeah, it was a big thing for me growing up. And oddly enough, I didn't see, it's been within like, I don't know, maybe like 8 years ago, 7 years ago when I saw this for the first time. Like you guys, this one just completely escaped me.
Yeah, I don't know if I said that, but I had not seen this one.
Yeah.
This was a first time watch for me. And I won't say yet. I won't say how I felt yet.
Yeah.
But we got a lot to talk about.
But I did.
Yes.
I have seen the Guyver Out of Control, which is like the 1988 OVA, I want to say. And then there's an anime that's like 12 episodes that I may have seen a couple of them. And then there was a more recent one from like, I want to say like 2012.
I thought I read like 2014 or something.
Yeah,
But I think you're right.
It was right in there.
I haven't watched any of the most recent one, but
I haven't seen any of the anime, and I know that's a sin for some people, but I haven't seen any of the anime. I've seen the art. It looks awesome. I mean, one thing you can say about the movies, these live action ones, is that they're weirdly nailing it.
Yeah.
I think they're weirdly
absolutely.
nailing it. And I don't just mean the look of the costumes and everything. I mean, the movements, everything about the attitude of this feels like you would think, I don't know. I mean, again, I haven't seen the show, but it really feels like they've pulled it off the page to me. So it is weirdly a cool adaptation, I would think.
yeah. So the first one was produced by Brian Usna, which I guess is where the Reanimator connection comes back in because he produced that as well, right?
I think so.
And it was co-directed by Screaming Mad George and Steve Wang.
What a legend. What two legends.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess Usna was kind of ahead of his time with the sorts of properties that he was choosing to adapt around this time, because you've got Guyver in 1991, Crying Freeman in 1995, which are both based on manga that probably very few people in the Anglosphere would have known about.
I think I'm
back
probably
then.
the only one that knew Crying Freeman.
Yeah, I mean, even today, I don't think either of those are like super up there in terms of name recognition today over here. And then in 2000, he did a live action adaptation of Faust, which is an independent comic book from like 1988. I think it launched.
Yep.
And
there's no money in comics.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't seen that one. I did start watching it.
Have you seen it, Chris?
I own the comics.
Oh, okay.
I have the comic run. It is very bloody and very sexually graphic. So I have not seen the movie, but if it's anywhere close to the comics, it's pretty.
So I should check that one out. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely.
I think if Usna's there, you can at least count on the bloody stuff. I don't know about the sexually graphic.
I mean, have you seen Reanimator?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was probably just partly like, oh, these are the properties I can afford as a low budget filmmaker. But the fact that he even knew what these things were, like, you have to imagine he's clearly into this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is one of those things where you kind of like hear about it from your friend, and then like you're the only two that feel like you know about it in the entire world, you know? Obviously not true, but this is a time before we really had internet access even. So like the fact that we're like, we know about this thing, we saw it on TV, and then it's like, and then it's just like gone for a while. And then you're like, what? Yeah. That thing was crazy. Did we dream that? Like that movie is nuts.
Well, you know, I'm a little bit older than you guys, so that like early to mid 80s, early 90s, you know, I was going to the comic shop and getting these comics and getting these bootleg VHS tapes. Mm-hmm. It's like I still have the Akira first bootleg VHS that came out. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, side tangent for Akira, like I grew up watching the original dub of that, which, you know, these days people are like, it's terrible. They mispronounce names all the time. And then they released another one like years later, like, I don't know, early 2000s.
Yeah.
I can't watch the new dub. Like, I don't care if the voice acting is better. I don't care if the translations are more accurate. You got to watch the original.
I absolutely know what you're talking. I totally agree with you. Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's too late for me, dude. But if you want to listen to the new one, go ahead. But
yeah,
no, it's never going to be my favorite.
For sure. And so this, the first Guyver movie, it got a theatrical release, budget of $3 million. I get the impression that it didn't really do great in theaters, but did do well, like in home video rentals, at least well enough to merit a sequel. And I think this was sort of a passion project for Steve Wang, because at this time around, he's like the sole director. He produced it and he did special effects on it.
Yeah, that's the mark that he truly gave a shit. And you can see it in every time there's an effect on the screen, anytime there's a fight scene, I really think it comes through.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's mostly known as a special effects artist. He just was a kid that grew up obsessed with this sort of stuff like Ultraman and Kamen Rider. He actually did he directed about half of one of the Kamen Rider series. So that was probably a full circle, like, dream come true thing for him. Taught himself how to make masks looking at behind the scenes photos in Famous Monsters and Starlog. And then at the tender age of 20, he landed his first Hollywood gig under the tutelage of Stan Winston, working on Tobe Hooper's film Invaders from Mars.
I really like that movie.
I am not really a Hooper fan, and I've only seen that one once. But that one sticks out to me as like, I would rewatch that because there were things about it that I remember liking. Special effects being one of them.
Yeah, sure. The effects are really good. That movie is like a fun throwback, like,
because it is a remake.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But also like not just that it's a remake, but like the tone they're going for is very strictly like a 50s sci-fi, throwback type of a deal. So it does have some newer sensibilities or whatever, but like at its core, it's like, it's really just trying to be one of those like 50s invaders from Mars, they're here. They're taking over your neighborhood. It's a really fun movie.
It's been a while, but isn't it kind of just like The Faculty, basically? Like that
100%.
plotline?
Oh, yeah. And I think it even centers around the school. I think that's totally correct.
Because I think it was like either like an older elementary school kid or like a middle schooler. It's about like a young kid with all of this horrific shit happening around him.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, from there, his career just took off. He became sort of a journeyman effects artist. He worked under Rick Baker, Ted Ray, Stan Winston, as I said, just to name a few.
The legends.
Yeah. Some of his credits in that regard are Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Gremlins 2, Spaced Invaders, and The Devil's Advocate.
Hell yeah. I don't think I've seen Devil's Advocate. I know what the movie is. I haven't seen Devil's Advocate. Are there effects in that movie? Like,
oh yeah.
I only remember digital effects because I've only seen it once. The main thing I remember is like, if you think Keanu Reeves' accent in Bram Stoker's Dracula is bad, wait until you see him try to do like, I think he's supposed to be from Florida. Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was Florida or Louisiana that he was supposed to be from.
He's supposed to be from like some country town in Florida.
Oh, which one's worse, that or Dracula?
I would say Devil's Advocate.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That might just be because I grew up in the South more or less, so I can hear
you would know
the inaccuracies. Whereas like with, obviously I'm not from England. So if someone does an English accent, it just has to be like good enough for an American for me.
Count Dracula. I can't even do it. Like I can't even do what he does. Yeah. Blue flames, wolves. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, man. It's nuts.
Yeah. So Steve Wang, he did effects on this one, but he was assisted by Moto Hata, Asao Goto, and Brian Wade. Hata had previously worked with Wang on the Guyver, and he would go on to do effects for Species, Men in Black, Deep Rising, and Bicentennial Man.
Hell yeah, Bicentennial Man.
Let's get loco, Robo. I always remember that from the trailer, but now that I'm saying it, I'm realizing like the trailer kind of advertised that movie as like this screwball comedy about
fun
robots.
movie.
It was nothing like that. Yeah, absolutely not even close. It's like, hey, there's Robin Williams, but yeah.
And he's a fucking robot man.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like depressed most of the time. So
yeah. And Goto's credits include Guyver, Freaked, which was another, Screaming Mad George worked on that as well. Mm-hmm. Space Truckers and Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest.
Oh my God.
Which is a good one. And Brian Wade. He's worked on a ton of stuff. And this dude has worked with pretty much every legendary effects artist: Stan Winston, Chris Wallace, Rick Baker, the Kyoto Brothers, Screaming Mad George, Steve Wang, and K&B. So some of his credits are Jaws 3D, The Terminator, Enemy Mine, Friday the 13th 6, Gremlins 2, and of course, Harry and the Hendersons.
Of course.
We cannot forget that one.
This list we have of like just the ultimate guys to do a project like this. And I'm telling you, if you haven't seen this or the first one, it's all there on the screen. I mean, it really is. This movie had a budget of what, $800,000 or something?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, for what it is, and look, the sets are what they are, and the acting is what it is, and whatever. But
the budget was for special effects.
The budget was for special effects.
Let's be absolutely honest. And they probably got really close to the top of the budget for the special effects because
let's be clear. Like, this is a movie that you rent for the fights and to see some weird ass sort of strange creatures just going at it, That's why you watch this movie.
Yeah, so the cast, this is a low-budget film, so you're not likely to have heard of most of them, but replacing Jack Armstrong in the role of Sean Barker, a.k.a. the Guyver, is David Hayter in his first live-action film role. So who is David Hayter, guys?
He is the voice of Solid Snake. I was gonna do one of his weird other credits, but I have so much love for this man. He's so great. Metal Gear Solid is such a big part of my childhood. He's definitely a guy that I obsessed over for a while because it was like, I was kind of like, anytime I was near a computer, I'd be like, what's David Hayter doing? I would just like go through my list of like, okay, we're checking on Bruce Campbell. What is he doing? Okay, cool. Sam Raimi. Sure. Let's see David Hayter. What's he doing? There's Metal Gear Solid 3's coming out. Oh my God. He's definitely a guy that I have followed. And like a lot of people probably don't know that he's a very accomplished screenwriter as well. After he did this acting stuff, right? I don't think he was writing before, but like he wrote X-Men.
He sure did.
That's crazy. He is the Guyver, right? And he wrote X-Men, and he's Solid Snake.
He also did the screenplay for Watchmen.
He did adapt. Yeah, he definitely did.
Voyeur Nuns is right there on top. So
Voyeur Nuns?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was one I was going to send you guys to watch as just like extra credit, but his first acting role wasn't a film, but it was a television show. I want to say it was called like Major Dad, and it was about some dad that was like a major in the military. And in this episode, David Hayter is like, he's like second in command to Yakov Smirnov, who's playing a Russian.
The worst place you could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I pulled up his IMDb. He was Misha Sortosky.
Mm-hmm.
Was in that Major Dad. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I watched a little bit of that. It was funny.
Doing some kind of accent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh man.
Although his Russian in that makes him look like a genius compared to Keanu Reeves' Southern accent.
There you go.
In Devil's Advocate. So
that's pretty much all I got on background information. Should we just get into the plot of this bad boy?
Let's do this shit.
So the movie begins on a shot of the titular Guyver unit, which kind of looks like that game Simon with a metal ball in the middle of it.
And some slime on it, yeah.
Yeah. And we get a voiceover.
The Guyver unit. It's been a year since the alien armor invaded my body and became a part of me. A year since I first became the Guyver and destroyed the Kronos Corporation and their shape-changing killers, the Zoonoids. Now Kronos is gone, but the Guyver stays in me, calling me to fight, to kill.
Economical. Like,
you're not kidding. Yeah.
That's all you need.
It. Yeah. 100%.
And we get a pretty classy shot, if I say so myself, of the Guyver standing atop a building looking at the city skyline before meeting up with a group of thugs robbing a warehouse, and what they're stealing is dolls.
Dolls. The latest technology. You mix cocaine with plastic, you can shape it into anything you like. Melt it back down, it's 100% pure.
That's James Bond had done that years before this.
That was gasoline.
Yes, that was gasoline. I know. But Timothy
Dalton
took care of that for us. Okay?
Yeah, maybe Miami Vice had the dolls.
Yeah.
But they're saying that the dolls are made from cocaine. Not that there is cocaine within the doll.
Oh, no, yeah.
That the doll consists of cocaine.
Yeah. And, would you really need to melt it down at that point? Couldn't you just, use a spice grinder or something? Or like a cheese grater?
Throw Barbie's leg in the coffee grinder.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
And suddenly the goons hear some clanging in the darkness of the warehouse, and you better believe it's the Guyver. So what did you guys think about this setup into action piece?
Well, number one, I love that there's 5 or 6 guys loading up a single van.
Yeah.
The guy's like, okay, get to work. And it's like a bunch of guys loading up one van. This is like a classic, sort of superhero setup.
Yeah.
Everything about it looks pretty good. They start firing at nothing for quite some time. I don't know why they did that other than to fill that room up with steam so then the Guyver can walk out and look like a badass. Was there any other...
A ghost.
Oh, exactly. A phantasm. The illusion of a disordered mind. I don't know. I mean, it's a really great reveal, and they don't really mess around. They just get right into the action. Guys are flying everywhere.
Yeah. He kills 7 or 8 people immediately.
It's not messing around, and they're not afraid of a little blood and a little bit of violence and gore. But it cleans up pretty quick, though. They don't really linger with it. It never stays on him. We never go back to it. But you'll get a blood spurt. You'll get a broken limb. Oh yeah. You get some good, obviously
shots,
they look amazing. Yeah. So this scene is it's a great opener.
Yeah. And so the control metal in Guyver's head starts going crazy and shooting lasers, which etch the word Guyver into the side of a shipping container like he's fucking Zorro or something. I didn't remember that at all because I think I've only seen this once and I was like, that's super weird.
Why does he do that?
I don't know.
I mean, is it kind of like, putting the crow down on the ground on stuff?
That's the first thing I thought of,
yeah, that's exactly what I thought of.
Well, I think it's funny because it's just so explicit. It's not a bat symbol. It's not a Z. It's literally just his name.
Yeah.
Does he give his address too? Come on.
So, some cops arrive on the scene a bit too late. Shit, yeah, it's him all right. Opening credits.
How could you tell?
Which reminds me, in the opening credits, the music in this movie is composed by Les Claypool.
But not the one you want.
Right.
Not the one you want. Imagine, though, if we had gotten the Les Claypool Guyver 2 soundtrack. Just think about that. Oh, man.
It's I think there's also a composer named George S. Clinton, who is not George Clinton from Parliament Funkadelic. And I think there's also one who's also named Jimmy Page, who is not the one from Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, what? I just watched the Jimmy Page one.
Did you watch Death Wish too?
That's what it was.
Yes.
Yes, it was Death Wish. I was like, Jimmy Page, goddamn.
So we meet up with Sean Barker in his apartment/motel room, and as he awakens from a nightmare, he flips on the TV, and the film on the screen so enrages him that he transforms into the Guyver, only to wake up yet again. Classic double dream.
Showing the exact same footage, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a couple instances of we're just going to repeat that shot. You're just going to deal with it. We need to express the idea of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
We've already got it once. Why would we film it again?
Right.
Yeah. So this time he for real wakes up and picks up a newspaper with the headline, "Verdict still out on armored vigilante, security guard in critical condition, not expected to recover." So in the opening scene with the drug doll gang, the leader is holding a security guard hostage and then shoots him 13 times in the chest.
Yeah.
So I thought it was very funny where it's like not expected to recover. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're just like holding him just in case there's another movie. And they're like, well, we need some characters to live.
Yeah.
So we could always figure something out with this dude.
Yeah, at the very end, he's talking to someone, and you find out, like, oh, yeah, Guyver's my middle name, or whatever it was.
Robin?
Yeah.
Yeah. You should use your other name, Robin. Yeah, I don't know. I like that movie, but that part.
I rewatched it within the past few years, and I'm like, I think people are a little bit harsh on it.
No,
it's not as good as Dark Knight, but it's not.
No.
It's still heads and tails above most comic book movies.
I think any one of those three, I think you could say that about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, totally.
I also want to point out that the body of this news article, since I had to pause it to like type the headline, I'm pretty sure it's just the script of this movie.
No way.
It says, in the background, we can hear the TV, but Sean still has not heard it, having not reached this part of the script.
Have you played Max Payne? That is some Max Payne shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Where the TV is like telling him what's going on.
Yeah, so I guess it's not really the script, because it's like referencing that Sean hasn't reached this part of the script. I guess it's more of just like, yeah, an Easter egg like Max Payne, where it's like the newspaper's literally describing what's happening in the movie.
Weird. I didn't catch that.
Mm-mm.
Well, why would you? Most people don't pause on a static shot of a newspaper. And he opens up his notebook where apparently he makes primitive scribblings, and a news story about a werewolf attack in Utah piques his interest. Apparently, the werewolf matches the description of some nearby cave paintings which just so happen to perfectly match Sean's scribblings.
Next up, more Elvis sightings.
It's a different time back then.
Yes, it
Coming
was.
soon, Harry and the Henderson one.
Yeah. Up next.
And so Sean meets up with his girlfriend from the first film, Mitsuki Sagawa. She tells Sean that she read the newspaper article about the Guyver's recent massacre. It's clear that he's not getting any better at controlling the Guyver. They basically break up just so that he can have another romantic interest later on in the film.
I think the important thing about this scene is they get their little lovers' quarrel out of the way. And then Hader says, this isn't going to work, is it? And then it just cuts to him getting into a truck and driving to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty
you were
good.
saying, economical as hell,
Right,
dude.
yeah.
The first place he checks, there's a woman from the dig. Like it's just step after step, one after the other. Here we go.
He meets her in a like a general store where like the owner is just sort of a dick for no reason.
Yep. Tricks him into buying something.
He's
Right.
like trying to figure out where this dig site is, and that woman overhears him. He opens up his sketchbook like a madman and tells her all about his dreams, which is a great opening line on women. It works for me all the time.
Hey, can I show you my drawings?
Yeah. And they're shit.
These
They're
cave
terrible.
paintings. Yeah.
I had a dream about this.
But, you know, it works for him too, because one of the drawings catches her eye and she storms out of the store. After a little bit of back and forth, she reluctantly invites Sean to catch a ride in her truck, tells him that she's Corey Edwards, a researcher up at the dig. Would you say that Corey Edwards is kind of the Otacon of this movie? She's got the glasses.
There's no one. Does she piss herself at any point?
I don't think
No,
so.
but she screams a whole lot.
She does.
Does she design a stealth suit that can hide some guys in an elevator with you? Maybe.
I think she's just trying to dig up a stealth suit that can hide you in an elevator with some guys.
Yeah.
And she knows what dynamite is. So
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I guess if there's an Otacon in this movie, it's her.
Yeah. She takes him to the dig site into a cave. She goes off to speak to one of her colleagues. Sean goes further and further into the cave and stops when he gets to familiar cave painting, the very same one that made Corey so cagey earlier. And her father, Marcus Edwards, is the lead archaeologist on the dig, which is apparently being funded by some corporation that is very anxious to hit pay dirt. And Corey lies and introduces Sean as one of her classmates so that he'll be allowed to roam the site. And I think this scene is kind of like my major problem with it is that there's actually quite a few characters in this, and none of them really have names until an hour and 30 minutes into the movie where suddenly someone will say their name.
Yeah.
So you're just like, yeah, there's like a government guy and like a corporation guy and like archaeological people.
Yeah, I didn't get the government guy's name even. I kept listening
not
for it.
until way
It's
late.
Atkins. They say it literally like an hour and 45 minutes into the movie. So yeah, in my notes, I just kept writing government guy,
Yeah,
corporation guy.
Yep. Did we talk just very briefly? When she's at the store, she buys like a 24-pack of Bud Dry and just like
Bud Dry.
and like a bag of just like Doritos, like a paper bag full of chips.
Well, I mean, there are nothing but a bunch of college kids,
Yeah, exactly.
college students. So,
Yeah.
Bud Dry and Doritos, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And
that's
they're all
right.
spending the night at the site afterwards. So you
Right.
know they're all like, it's a real bacchanal fuck fest. And after that, you need some Doritos to replenish your
Yep.
energy. So,
That's right. Get ready for round 2.
yeah, Corey just kind of keeps leaving Sean with other people. She gives
She's
him
no
to a guy
reason to
named
trust him.
Bob, and he shows Sean some fossils that look strikingly similar to one of the zoonoids Sean killed at the Kronos Corporation a year ago, the Michael Berryman zoonoid, whose costume is actually, I'm pretty sure every costume is reused in this film.
He says the name, doesn't he? I forget the name.
Lisker. I
Lisker.
think.
Yeah. He says it like a Metal Gear line. He goes, Lisker.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. I've been trying so hard not to do that voice.
Otacon.
Thank you. I love, he looks like Tom Cruise mixed with Rod from Birdemic. And I hope that at least one person will understand what I'm talking about. He has this look that's like, he's in decent shape.
Yeah.
He's like not like super ripped or
He's
anything,
pretty
but he's
slender.
He's a
but
slender
like in
guy.
shape.
Yeah. But when you see the guy in the suit, you buy it that it could be him.
Yeah.
So he is the right shape and size. So they get that right.
Yeah. I feel like obviously he can act because he's an accomplished voice actor, but this being his first film role and he's the star of it, there's times where it just feels like he hasn't developed that comfort of being in front of a camera.
He's also not the worst actor in the movie.
No.
He's really not. But yeah, he
that
definitely
would be
has.
the security guards.
Or the guys at the beginning, the gangsters were terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible. Yeah, no, but you're right. He definitely has some issues, but like nothing movie breaking. Honestly, it's like he gets the job done, and I would almost argue that he's better than the guy in the first movie.
Yeah. Well, I also agree that he's a step up. That guy is just kind of like a void.
Exactly.
Especially next to Mark Hamill and his mustache.
Oh.
Yeah, so the archaeologists apparently think that they're dinosaur bones. And that night, Corey and Sean talk in the bed of her truck. She demands to know why Sean is so interested in this dig site. And he tells her that he can't tell her why. She threatens to kick him out. And he still refuses, but she keeps pressing. And she talks about how her and her father are basically like fringe scientists that research like cryptids and ancient aliens, which I guess before the reveal, that's a good enough explanation to me of like why her dad is like so into the funding, because who else is going to fund these two psychos?
Yeah, it actually does work. Yes.
And meanwhile, Mr. Curlow, the guy from the news report about the werewolf, he's in the woods hunting for the beast with a news photographer, and there's a fucking zoonoid lurking in the woods watching. It attacks. Sean hears the screaming from afar and runs to help. And as he's running, he just says, Guyver, and he's transformed. What did you guys think about that?
First of all, when they're sitting there in the truck bed, you hear someone screaming like a blood curdling scream, like, and then you hear David Hayter says, I heard someone shouting. And And then, when he's running, again, it's like a definitely solid snake delivery. He goes, Guyver. Honestly, it works in the same way that I don't know what that thing is that they're tapping into, but it's that like sort of Power Rangers-y Kamen Rider. You know what I mean? Like you're saying the thing and then doing the thing. There's a lot of like quick movements with the hands and head movement and all those little ticks that they have when they're fighting and stuff. Like, I think that's part of it. That's fun. That gives you something to do on the playground.
Right.
Yeah.
Or in the break room.
So the thing about the Guyver is that this is like the only one where he just has like control over it. I thought like Guyver in alien language means out of control. Mm-hmm. So it's like a thing. And that's like where a lot of the dramatic tension in the first one comes from, is that he can't just like choose to do it whenever he wants. So I was like,
right.
I get it on the one hand, because you don't want to just retread what you already did in the first movie, but it is like part of their lore, you know?
Sure. I kind of think that they're trying to get to tell you that because he is playing nice with it, that he has some modicum of control over it, because he's like attacking bad guys and like basically taking the dog for a walk, if you will.
Almost kind of a Venom-esque.
I was going to say like a Flash Thompson, Agent Venom type thing.
Exactly. Like they've come to an agreement. And so that is kind of what I think they're doing in this. It's like, it's not fully given to you that way, but I think when he's struggling with it and he's telling other characters in the film, like, I don't want to do this. I don't kill. It kills, but he is struggling with it. But as you say, we don't want to retread that same ground in this sequel. And plus, like, and so much for the better, because this movie ends up being so much fun, having those situations where it can be a little sillier and, we can kind of make up the rules a little bit. I think that is to this movie's definitely benefit, like all the way.
Right. And I think it kind of played into that. He's mentally trying to have some kind of disassociation with the actions of the suit, but still kind of come to terms that he's not getting rid of this. So I'm going to at least try to direct the chaos.
Yeah.
And I did like in that shot how he transformed, kind of that jump off and kind of that. And really, it almost was like the modern Venom movies where it just kind of sprouts out and wraps around.
It's not that bad. And honestly, I think the effects, those transformations are really good.
Yeah, so this one in particular is CGI. And just to reiterate, this movie came out in 1994, and there's a couple of CGI scenes, but they really don't look that bad.
I gotta agree.
They shot them in such a way to where it's not like Anaconda or something like that, where it's just like glaringly terrible.
I've seen a lot of stuff recently that's worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So he arrives to find the Zoonoids strangling Mr. Curlow, and a fight ensues. Pretty good. Liu Kang bicycle kick is what I wrote.
We all have that note here, right?
Yeah. Right.
I have that same goddamn note.
And he does it several more times throughout the movie.
Yes, he does.
And so they're like fighting. Sean's trying to get some information out of the Zoonoid because he thought that he had killed all of them. But the fight is broken up when Corey and company arrive, and the Zoonoid fucks off into the woods. And back at the camp, Sean notices one of the archaeologists acting suspiciously, follows him into the woods. This guy is whispering into a radio, and he says Sean's name, and classic Sean breaks a twig, which alerts this guy.
But he's wearing massive can headphones. Yeah. There's no chance in hell that he heard that very small twig snap.
Right.
It's like the guards in Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. What was that noise?
Whose footprints are these?
He's like, he confronts Sean. He's like, you and I both know there was no bear. This is Atkins. He's government of, I don't think they ever say which agency.
Well, no, they don't even say his name at this point.
Yeah.
The government.
Yeah, and that's what it is. The government, every time they talked about it.
And he's about to just straight up execute Sean in the woods.
And I like that the way that it's stopped is like by a casual interruption. Yeah. And then he goes, okay. Like he just lets him walk away.
Yeah. Corporation guy and security guy walk by and they're like, okay, well, I guess I won't kill you. More nightmares. The bumps on his neck pulsate, which I guess for people that are unfamiliar with Guyver, it's like armor, but it's inside of him and it springs out through the back of his neck. So lots of pulsating neck bumps in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular instance of that coincides with strange activity inside the cave. And then the next morning, he pensively stands on a boulder and stares into the sun.
Yes, he does. Now, something weird happened. Was there a moment when it was going to cut to something else and then it didn't? Or was that something wrong with my copy of the movie?
There's like going to cut to something else.
There's like a few frames when it starts to fade and the sky behind him fills in with like a person and then doesn't.
Let me look. Let me skip forward a little bit.
It could have been. I don't mean to derail us,
no,
but like
this is important.
I think because I had some issues like that where it had almost like skipped a scene, or like it initially.
I did
like
find that
a flash of something, and then
yeah, I did have some audio desyncs, but that was my original player there. I have it on. I actually downloaded it to my phone.
The way David Lynch would have wanted it.
Yeah. Sorry, David. I love you.
All right. Let's take a look at this.
I'm scrolling.
No, I didn't see anything in that specific transition of him waking up and then he's on a boulder.
Yeah, it's in the sky. Like there's that like clear skyline behind him. It could have just been my player. I don't know. But it seemed like it was going to fade to another scene and then it just didn't. Like someone appeared in the sky for like 3 frames.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing that?
No.
What the hell?
But I will say, like, this is generally well directed, but there are like some weird things because as I was scanning through this, like the scene where he's watching the government guy sneak off into the woods is like super out of focus.
There's a few like that, I noticed, yeah.
And I wasn't sure if it was just shot out of focus or they realized like they shot it from such a distance that you can't tell who those people are, so that they then had to like blow it up.
Yeah, it could be.
There's a couple technical issues like that in this.
Did you also, and just while we're talking about these, just to get it out of the way, was there also one where like they start a scene and then like there's a cut and then they start the scene again, but like with slightly different dialogue, like they used another take? Did you notice that?
I didn't.
I think mine was cursed. I should have written it down. I'll have to watch the whole thing again.
So Sean asks Corey what they're really trying to find in this dig site. He's not buying the dinosaur story, which why would you? Because like archaeologists should be able to tell the difference between dinosaurs and aliens. She tells him that it's just a cover up, but she also still doesn't tell him what they're looking for. And inside the cave, one of the archaeologists notices a new fissure in the wall. It was created during Sean's dream the previous night. Inside is some sort of metal panel that I think one of them says feels like leather.
Yeah, but then they hit it and it goes tong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and they start digging, and within a few hours, they've uncovered some sort of massive testicular alien ship.
You're damn right, Dad. Yeah.
Later that night, everyone's celebrating except Corey. She's looking at stuff in a microscope, and she goes to find Sean, who's off by himself in the cave staring at the ship. And she tells Sean that the microscope samples she was looking at confirms that the ship is organic and that it was not built, but grown. And she wants to use this technology to eliminate pollution and save the planet.
Okay, Otacon.
Yeah.
I never wanted Metal Gear to kill anyone. The walking battle tank.
I thought this was just like, I don't know. It's like some sort of motivation, but also like it's never brought up again and no one, like the movie cares about it. Not at all.
No, it wasn't there before and it's not there after.
So
is this when he says, I see why they call you an outlaw?
Yeah.
Yes.
That line didn't make any sense.
No.
Back at the campsite, the secret government agent questions Sean about the Kronos Corporation, and Sean is reluctant until the guy tells him that only Kronos LA was destroyed. It's a worldwide corporation. And I'm like, how would he not know that? It's been a year. It's like if the Intel building in where I live got destroyed, no one would just be like, "Oh, there's no more computer chips." That was the only one. I'm just like,
that's a good point.
Especially like, as we know, his only hobby is drawing and reading newspapers and watching the news.
Yes, that's true.
Right.
He should have known this.
And
I mean, even 94, they went ahead and some kind of thing on the news.
yeah, like a stock ticker at the bottom that says
Right.
Kronos Corporation.
I mean, in 94, he could have gone onto the internet.
Yeah. I mean, he would have heard the AOL squall and took, 2 days to download anything. But
do you think Guyver likes that sound? I bet Guyver would like activate if you heard that noise.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised that wasn't the way he communicated later on.
With a dial-up
with the
modem.
ship?
With the ship, yeah.
That almost makes sense, Chris.
So Sean tells him all about the Kronos Corporation and that they weren't developing bioweapons. They are the bioweapons. But before Sean spills all of the beans, Corey shows up, providing Sean with a convenient exit from the conversation. So I guess that's kind of a recurring thing, is like people just walk by and it like diffuses.
You got to let him go. It's just the rules. It's the social agreement.
The next day, a door into the ship miraculously opens up and the archaeologists go inside to explore. Sean wanders off on his own to talk to the ship and ask it why he's been cursed with the power of the Guyver. And as he's doing this, Corey finds another Guyver unit, which is promptly taken by the corporation guy, who's finally named Crane at this moment.
You kind of glanced over when the door opens. The main scientist guy goes, "What do you want me to say? Open sesame?"
He does say that.
Why does he say it like that?
Well, he
Sesame.
is an alien, as we learn later.
That's true.
Yeah.
Corey
It would have been
storms off.
funny.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No,
No,
I was
you
just going
got
to say maybe a better writer would have included like things like that, clues that this man, it might be an alien, like he's mispronouncing common phrases or like using phrases that don't quite make sense. That would have been fun.
Right.
I don't
Or, like,
know if they even
eating-
are aliens at this point, but we can discuss that way later.
All right.
I'm still very
Okay.
confused of
Right.
Guyver lore. Yeah, so Corey storms off. Sean follows her. There's a lot of this, like someone goes off on their own and someone follows them.
Mhm.
As I'm reading these notes back, I'm like, yeah, this is there really is like 2 locations in this movie and people are constantly bouncing back and forth between them.
You know, because of course that's all protocol on a archaeological dig that
Yeah.
just wander off on their own and then
Sure.
somebody, well, I'll follow them.
One that we
Sure.
have been explicitly told has very heavy security.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the security guard with the rolled up pack of cigarettes in his sleeve, he's in
Yeah.
charge. So,
So Sean tells Corey about the Kronos Corporation, the Zoonoids, and the Guyver unit, and she's just kind of mad at him for telling her this, because she's like, so what if they're monsters? They funded this dig. It just
That's pretty
seems
good.
incompatible with like, I'm an outlaw environmentalist.
I see why they call you an outlaw.
Yeah, it's very weird. And she's going to go like tattle on him. But as she does, she overhears Crane in his office talking to, I guess, the president of the Zoonoids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they just like, there's some guy.
You never see him again, do you?
I
Maybe-
think he's maybe
maybe-
once more,
one
like
more
towards the
time.
end.
Yeah.
Right, but he doesn't show up or anything. Like,
No, he never comes in person, I don't
He's
think.
like the Palpatine of,
yeah,
that you only see him
in
on
Empire.
video in Empire. Yeah.
that's pretty fun.
Yeah, so she gets kidnapped at this point. Sean goes to sulk. He goes to the cave to sulk again, and Crane joins him. And Crane is like, I know what it's like. We're the bastard children of an uncaring parent. And then he transforms into a fucking gill man.
This is the best, I think, suit in the
Hey.
thing.
You want to know what else Steve Wang did the gill man suit for?
Tell
Monster
me.
Squad.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
Yes.
Creature.
This dude knows how to make a goddamn creature.
He does.
It looks, I mean, that one looks wonderful. It's got a great mask. the articulation and when he talks, the eyes, everything about it look really, really good.
It's great. And this is, so there's a few new ones, but this is definitely the one they put the most work into, because that, like, the rhino looking one, that's new. The bug thing is new. And then there's another, like, shrimp mole rat thing.
Yeah.
But the noises they make do not line up with the creature that they seem to be inspired by. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because the rhino, in one scene, he's making, like, a lion roar, but that is, like, capped off with, like, just a house cat sound. Yeah. It's super weird.
And it just, like, starts and stops a bunch of times, that one cat effect.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very funny.
So yeah, he's a gill man, and he tells Sean that this ship has the power to change the zoonoids into regular humans, and it even has the power to remove the Guyver unit from Sean. Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son, basically.
Yep.
That's impossible. Never. And then Sean gets knocked out by a security guard.
By the way, this whole movie takes place in Cloud City. I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a female security guard henchman with like distinctively blonde hair. She just sort of enters the movie at this point, and we're supposed to all act like she's always been there.
She's a bit of a lobot.
Yeah. Yeah, meanwhile, Corey, she's being spirited away by two security guys in a Jeep, and they're stopped on the road by the aforementioned, I say, shrimp mole rat. What did you guys think this thing was?
Yeah, what's his face? It's
it's almost like some kind of like crustacean caterpillar kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a crustacean accident. I don't know. But the sound he makes, again, doesn't he make like an elephant noise, this guy?
I think so.
What the fuck?
It's like almost some kind of whale-elephant mix thing going on.
I don't know, man. But I liked it.
He flips the Jeep, and I don't remember exactly what he says, but whatever he says is like, oh, this is Corey's father, Dr. Edwards.
He says run. I think he just tells her to run, get out of here or something like that.
Okay.
The way they just let him sit there and rock that Jeep for a good amount of time. And then you find out that these guys are also zoonoids. Like, they just let this happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we've got a zoonoid three-way going on.
Hell yeah. In a little creek.
Yeah. Classic. Fight in the woods.
Yep.
The two bad ones, they're getting the better of Dr. Edwards. Corey distracts one by throwing rocks at it and leads it into the woods. And Sean is rescued by government guy. Sean makes a beeline to Corey's last known location to make this a zoonoid four-way, but he just sort of like stands on the highway and yells into nature, and that's how he finds her.
I didn't really think about it that way, but yeah, he just sort of calls out like when Luke calls to Leia right after his hand gets cut off. Leia, hear me.
It's so like it's a massive valley surrounded by mountains, and he's just like, Corey, and she's like, Sean, and they're able to find each other.
It's like echolocation or something.
Look, the Guyver has many abilities.
Right.
Yeah, and I think this is when he jumps off a cliff and turns into the Guyver.
Right.
Mid-cliff jump.
I don't care what anyone says. That is awesome. I love that. I went back and watched it like 3 times. I thought it was awesome.
And just swan dives off the cliff, and you see it spread out, almost kind of like wings, and then like wraps around him, and he does the the superhero landing.
It's another one where that CG is there, and you can tell it's CG, but it is not in any way. It doesn't take you out. I mean, it really works. I mean, they know when to use the CG.
Yeah. To bring it, the one thing that does take you out and to bring it back to Star Wars is that David Hayter, much like Daisy Ridley, is an awkward runner.
Yes.
So that lead up to the cliff jump is kind of silly, but it's cool overall.
I love when he flips over that TIE fighter, though, man. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so he arrives just in time to save Corey. He defeats the bad zoonoids by decapitating one, and just like fucking up is probably the best way to to encompass all of the things he does to the other one.
Yes. The decapitation is awesome. the way he like rises up and then comes back down, like all this stuff is very anime. But like, I was trying to get at this earlier, but like the way these fights work, sometimes you get these anime inspired movies and they kind of come across as a little too choreographed and a little bit too light. I don't know how else to describe it, but this one feels like they didn't have enough time to like really practice it all, but they're still going like 110% on each other. So it does feel pretty good, and like the blows feel fairly realistic.
Right.
But they're sneaking in there all these anime style things, and his flips and jumps, and they're defying gravity all the time. But it's so well thought out and worked into the fights that like you almost don't even notice it. It's like it doesn't take you out of the fight. It's just, but like he like flips up a tree and then he's like flying into the air. And then the next guy, he snaps like his wrists, blood blasts out.
Yeah.
And then he burns out his eyes with lasers.
Yeah. That wrist snap is the way he kills his first Zoonoid, and at least the anime, like the Guyver Out of Control is like they're doing that wrestling thing where you have your hands locked and you're like pushing each other, and he just snaps the dude's wrists.
It looks great in the movie, and I love that it's there. And if you're a big time Guyver fan, you probably saw that and went, "Oh, that's cool."
It's pretty awesome. To go back to something we were talking about earlier, like this one does have the reputation of being like, oh, the gore is bumped up a notch, but I kind of disagree because of what you were saying at the beginning, DK. Like it comes and goes very quickly, but like, yeah, the opening scene in the first movie, like someone gets their head crushed.
Oh my God.
It's brutal.
Yes.
And then the Jeffrey Combs character gets force fed the control medal, and the Guyver rips out of his stomach.
Yes. Yeah, the first one is a little bit more, I don't want to say mean spirited, but like it's brutal, and you see it and it lingers for sure. Versus this one, which is like, like sort of sanitized in some way. But you still, I like it because you kind of get the thing you want to see. And then it's like, look, I feel like it's more of a continuity thing where they're just like, look, man, I don't know where that blood was. We're back here the next day. He's hot in there. We do not have time to put this blood back on him.
You get kind of quick hints of gore. It's not like the first one where you kind of linger on that scene a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the action is a little more fast paced. So you'll get the shot of like, him using his elbow blade to slice somebody's throat, but you see it for a second and then he moves on to the next guy.
Yep.
Yeah. So Sean at this point doesn't know that the third Zoonoid is Corey's father, so he's about to kill him as well. Corey steps in and stops him, and Sean transforms out of the Guyver armor, and the cat's finally out of the bag. This is a pretty long movie. This is probably like at least an hour and 20 minutes into the film when finally like we're getting to this where she realizes he's the Guyver.
Yeah, but it's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, quite long. So yeah, they finally admit their feelings for one another and head back towards the cave, the other location in the movie. All of the archaeologists are being held captive by Mr. Crane. His assistant, Nicole, is just about to murder all of them. Suddenly, a squad of government guys show up to save the day. And it's quite confusing because they're just dressed like generic, like they're wearing like black jumpsuits with black hats.
Yeah.
No identifying agency. So it's like, are these like, who are these people?
They look like they're there to play paintball. I'm not sure.
And then out in the middle of the woods, you're going to wear all black. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
No tactical advantage whatsoever.
No OD green anywhere to be found.
So they save the day, but there's still one Zoonoid running around killing people. And Sean and Corey, they sneak back into the cave. And Sean wants to destroy the ship to keep the Kronos Corporation from getting their hands on it. And this is, Crane talks to the president of the Zoonoids again, who for some reason, he's just like, you have an hour or else. And
did we get past the part where, I forget who says the line. Someone has a line read that baffled me. And he says, don't try anything funny. I don't even know if that's right. Like, it's weirder than that even.
That would
That was
probably
Crane,
be
wasn't it?
Crane. Yeah.
It might have been Crane. Don't try anything funny. Like, I can't do it. It's very strange.
It was so over the top the way
They
he
left
did
it in. They left it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, he wants to destroy the ship, President Zoonoids. Crane opens up the suitcase containing the second Guyver unit that they stole from Corey earlier. And Corey and Sean are wiring up explosives to blow up the ship. Sean is once again called to the center of the vessel. And by turning into the Guyver, Sean is finally able to communicate with the ship. And it shows him the history of the Zoonoids and the Guyver units on planet Earth. And this is probably my favorite part of the movie.
It's pretty cool.
I liked it a lot.
It does work. It did make me think of like a more recent one that like Psycho Gorman had some shit like this.
Yeah.
I love that. They were really committed to this, and I liked seeing it. And like, you know what? They told me the story, and I understood it. It worked. It did
without
work.
any words.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
I love it. I love this sort of stuff in movies. Because this is like, you get it at the very end, but like there's miniatures in this. There's the Zoonoid costumes from the first movie reused. There's like an ancient Guyver. They're like every sort of special effect that they made is in
There's
like
a volcano.
This, yeah,
Right.
It's
There's
great.
a goddamn volcano.
Government guy has been taken prisoner by Crane and his gang of Zoonoids, which kind of just come out of nowhere. Like suddenly there's just a Zoonoid walking around, and I think it ends up being Nicole, but I don't remember them showing any sort of transformation or like commenting on it at all.
No,
It's
there's
just
a few of them that just show up.
suddenly there's
Well,
a 7 foot.
Yeah, I was
The
gonna say,
one guy has the hat, and you know it's him.
Right.
He was like a lizard. It was like a snake man.
Yeah.
But wasn't it like when they were all in the room where the explosives were? Right, that's when she changes.
It's right around there. I
When
don't
they had
remember the
her,
moment.
yeah.
I don't remember the exact moment. I
was
don't
saying,
know
when
if
they
it was
had
there or not.
Corey, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was kind of like,
Was it the part in the cave or the part in the forest?
I think it was in the game. Yeah, right.
That's why it gets so confusing.
Right.
Like when you ask a question like that, I'm like, well, there's no like way to orient yourself with the
Right.
movie.
because they
I think
just
it
go
was
back and
in
forth.
the cave. Yeah, I think it was in the cave. It was just kind of, she was up there, and then all of a sudden, there's, a beast with a long
Yeah.
ponytail in the back.
Pretty
So
funny.
everyone meets up in the cave for one big battle, and just crazy shit ensues.
From here on out, the movie is just a blast.
Yeah.
More Liu Kang bicycle kicks.
Really good.
Zoonoids fighting Zoonoids.
Hand running, is this here?
Yeah.
That's a little bit later.
Oh my god. There's like a handstand where he rushes him on his hands.
yeah.
I don't know why it's there, but I wish there was more of it. It was really fun.
Yeah, so
And then the Atkins chase through the tunnels
yeah,
Yeah.
with her. Yeah, that was
it's all so good.
right.
And Crane is basically like stabs Dr. Edwards in Zoonoid form through the chest with a pole. He's blood gushing out of his mouth. Guyver is able to dispatch all of the Zoonoids except for Crane, and Crane uses the second Guyver unit to become a Zoonoid Guyver. And this is the final showdown.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
And this
Did
is
we mention
where the DK was just saying like Zoonoid Guyver runs on his hands. It's like that's why I'm skipping over a lot of the action, because it's all very cool, but some of it is just very difficult to even describe because
Yes.
it's so weird.
Yeah, I was trying to get at that earlier. Like it's so well like woven into the fights. It happens so fast. There's like
Right.
he's like I said earlier, he's like flipping up the tree, and he's like,
Yeah, because the tree thing and this hand thing in particular, those are the ones that stick out. Like the tree, he runs up the tree, and usually people do a backflip, but somehow he does a backflip, replants his hands on the tree, and then does like a gainer or something to get even further up the tree.
Yeah, it's so weird, but it just looks awesome.
And then lands on a log and starts running on a log.
Yeah.
Also, I think this is right as well when we get that slow motion spin kick.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
That
there's
kick
a few in this.
He spins and you think he misses the kick, but then he comes back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. It looks so great. And it's in slow motion and there's full contact. You can see it. It looks awesome. And then I think right around that same time, is that when the government guy electrocutes that woman and then shoots her in the head?
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy.
What did you guys think about Zoonoid Guyver?
I knew it had to happen.
Right.
And it was one of those things where it is sort of an anime manga type thing where it's like they set the rules and then they go, this character is now breaking the rules. We'll never be able to defeat them. What are we going to do? And it's like a fun escalation of the stakes.
Right.
Yeah.
But all that stuff alone, like the construction of it all, it looks awesome. He's like a xenomorph Darth Vader Guyver.
Shredder.
Right.
Yes. Honestly, yes. He looks awesome. It might look cooler than Guyver himself. I'll say it. It is just awesome. It delivers. And the fight that they have is a lot of fun. Like you were saying, it's like hard to describe the fights. Just you need to see these. Like if you're into these kinds of things, Guyver 2, yeah, the fights are so fun.
Yeah, I have it on the screen here, and Guyver just did like a backflip weird thing and then grabs Zoonoid Guyver's head and like dunks it like a basketball.
Yeah.
They're fighting all around this bridge and they're like knocking things over. It really, like, they're just playing with physics in a way that like would look really good on a comic book page and maybe in most movies wouldn't work, but they figured it out somehow with no money and insane costumes. They figured it out.
Yeah.
Well, and it was like the second evolution. It's almost like the Guyvernoid, but if you know any like Digimon or Pokemon, it's like the second evolution of the Zoonoid. You know,
it's the Super Saiyan Zoonoid. Yeah,
it's like Wolverine gets the symbiote.
Right.
Oh yeah. Now you're talking, bub.
And like for some reason, there's just like some scaffolding and a rope bridge that has heretofore been unseen. And I'm just like thinking of Johnny Cage
really
versus Scorpion.
To my biggest fan.
And there's a lot of like weird choreography on this bridge also.
It's like kids playing on the playground. I'm telling you.
It's
like some guys
back up on the bridge was like the best.
It's so fun. I don't care.
It's all great stuff. And Sean defeats Crane by ripping the control metal out of his forehead, and Crane starts melting, and Sean obliterates him with a blast from his chest cannon.
Boy, does it look good. The
we
sound
have to
effect is
remember,
good.
didn't Corey shoot the crack on the metal
did,
first?
because Zoonoid Guyver has him dead to rights a little bit, and then Corey steps in and shoots the control metal, which gives him the window he needs. But also, like the Zoonoid Guyver's blades come out more straight, and I'm like, that's just a way better weapon than having them on your elbows.
But there's a moment when the fight just becomes like a wrist sword fight.
Yeah,
right.
Pretty fun. It's just they deliver the things you want to see.
Yeah.
The only thing that got me is these are like biomechanical suits, and we're getting metal clang when the blades are hitting.
Well, it makes sense for the blades, maybe.
Ching,
I think
it
makes sense for the blades, maybe.
And so Sean explains that the Zoonoids weren't the experiment. The Guyvers were. The aliens created the Guyvers to fight their wars for them. So this is where I'm getting really confused about the lore of Guyver. And I guess I could have just read Guyverpedia or something. But I feel like having watched 3 movies about this, if you include the anime, which is, a slightly different universe, but it's like, I thought that Zoonoids were aliens and that there was a second group of aliens that created Guyver units to destroy the Zoonoids.
That was my understanding.
But then with this flashback and him saying that, it seems to imply that Zoonoids aren't aliens. They're actually the original inhabitants of Earth. And Guyvers were sent to, I guess, kill them so that this other unnamed, unseen race of aliens could live on Earth, but then they decided not to do that somewhere along the line.
I'm not going to ask any more questions on this. Let's just say that it works.
Am I off base though? Is that what's happening?
No, I think you've understood it
Relatively
correctly.
in the ballpark, yeah.
And I don't know. Does this really go off the? Does it go away from the lore, like in the comic or whatever?
I don't know, because I've never read any of the manga, and like the OVA that I've seen is kind of just the origin story. So it's like, he's in high school, he gets the Guyver, and he finds out about the Kronos Corporation.
Right. Someone will tell us. I hope.
Let us know, Guyver heads.
Yeah. At me.
So then the control metal extends from Sean's forehead. It activates a launch sequence in the ship. The ship flies off to its homeworld, and government guy tries to convince Sean to join the underground war against the Zoonoid army. Sequel bait ending for a sequel that would never happen. The end.
I love that he's like, hey, we're thinking about starting an underground resistance, or whatever he says. We're going to start a silent war against these guys.
Right.
Whatever the line is, it is very strange.
Yeah. How do I reach you?
Yeah.
And then he grins. He's like, oh, that rascal. He got away again.
Ooh, that Guyver.
My kind of Guyver.
So that's Guyver Dark Hero. Thoughts, gentlemen?
My first question is Guyver versus Predator when?
Did you know that this was actually Predator 3 in the Philippines?
Is it really called that?
Yeah.
Did they really pull one of those?
Yep.
Did they make any other attempt to predatorize it? Or is it just that they...
No.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
But to answer your question, I think Guyver eats Predator's lunch all day long.
I think it would be a fun contest.
Yeah.
Because Guyver is more nimble, I think, than a Predator.
Right. Oh,
and
yeah.
he doesn't rely as much on weapons and things. But I think Predator maybe might have the strength. So I think it would be a good match.
Well, they do kill him in the first one, and he comes back to life and says, "You can't kill me. I've been rejected by death." So I got to go with Guyver.
Okay.
I mean, I would want to see, just in that vein, Guyver versus a Xenomorph swarm.
Sure.
That would be the battle.
But he can't use weapons. Like, he has to, like, just punch and kick.
The blades and the...
Yeah, that's it. He can't use a gun. I don't want to see any guns. I want to see hand-to-hand combat.
Except for on, like, the Queen Xenomorph. He's got to use the chest cannon on that one.
Yeah, probably so. And I don't want it to be CG bullshit. It needs to be people in suits.
Right.
It needs to be puppeteered. I want that tail to be whipping around on the Xenomorph. I want him to be... I want to see that, sure, yeah. But you did ask what our overall thoughts were. And I guess I should answer that question.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and say this was an absolute blast. I probably sound like a broken record to people who listen to this show and have heard me before because I like things. Sorry. Sue me, okay? I like things. This was so much fun to watch. I will say that I've not kept up on anime. I've not kept up on, like Japanese film and like this kind of like actions, this style of an action movie. I loved this stuff as a kid. I absolutely went apeshit for all of this stuff as a kid. I loved it. But as I've gotten older, I've gone more into like weirdo horror. Like if it's a 70s or 80s horror movie, like that's really what I want to watch, But this is like a free pass into giddy childhood joy for me. Like, truly. And the fact that I can see this one for the first time and it's this good and it really truly delivers like exactly the things I want to see. Plus, it's got a little bit of gore and violence is pretty good. Like, it's well thought out. It for the most part, is well executed. As far as the combat and the effects are wonderful, off the charts. I mean, really good. So I can forgive its many weaknesses. And it has a ton of holes, but I'm not looking at those. If you get back far enough, it's a masterpiece. And I'm standing just right, and it's looking real good. Look, let me tell you this. I recently went to the Chicago Art Institute, and I saw such works of art as the Stacks of Wheat, the Monet. I saw the Nighthawks painting, the famous painting of the people in the diner, and I saw American Gothic in person. Guyver 2 is the most pure art that I've seen in the last month. It's the one that struck me the most. It's the one that should be on the wall in that art institute. Guyver 2, it's so much fun. Get a friend, get a beer, whatever you want to do, sit down and have a good time and like just turn your brain off and just marvel at how fun the fights are and how ridiculous the transformations are. It is a 2 thumbs up for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I am slightly harsher on films than DK is, but I'm gonna say I love this. And he's right. This brought me back to like early, when it's midnight on, what was it?
Yeah.
TBS,
TNT or some shit. Yeah, one of those.
I love this movie. It was fun. Like you said, turn your brain off, watch the action. The special effects for the time were great. I mean, the choreography was really good for what it was. And yeah, I had a blast with this. I'm not saying it should be next to Monet or anything, but
You're right. It should be above Monet. It should be in a different room. Monet can go into the basement to storage.
Maybe Degas, comparable with that, but no, I really, it was fun. I just like DK, I've seen the first one. This is a first watch for me, and I ended up watching it multiple times. So, it's well worth it. It's a blast. No, they're not going to get they weren't going to get an Oscar by any stretch of the imagination. But no, I mean, for what it was an absolute blast.
Yeah, so this is only the second time I've seen this. I feel like I had the same feeling the first time I watched it, which is like, you grow up watching Guyver and you're like, man, I wish there was a lot more Guyvers and Zoanoids fighting. Mm-hmm. And then you see the movie that is that, and you're like, man, maybe that's not really what I wanted, because some of that comes into at the expense of some of the things that I like about the first one. So it's like,
right.
Sure,
I appreciate this one, but number one problem, it does not need to be 2 hours long. Like,
no,
there's no
by
reason.
no means.
There was a ton of supposition that could have been way cut out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
you're not wrong.
That was a big issue.
It could have been a tight, 85 minutes, and it would have been good.
But if you're doing it correctly, you're leaving the room for snacks, drinks, bathroom break. You don't have to stop the movie.
Right.
It's really the movie doing you a favor.
True. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia. I mean, how do you guys stack this up against the original Guyver?
There is something about the first one that I don't know. Nothing can really touch it. It's like a perfect memory of the perfect time and the perfect fun. And, just like everything crystal clear, it is untouchable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though, look, yeah, again, like with this one, it has flaws. But I think maybe I'm far enough removed that I don't need to compare them. I can kind of feel like I can kind of appreciate this on its own for what it is, because it really doesn't take anything away from the first one, in my opinion. The first one is standalone on its own. And look, the second one is a fun excursion into a different direction. But, at the end of the day, I think, I still may love the first one more just because, well, there's a bunch of reasons why, but
yeah.
This one, I would say maybe not a better movie, but just as fun to watch. Maybe even more fun to watch, like with a group. Guyver 1 is a lot of fun. I don't know. I would have to go back. It's been a little bit. It's been a couple of years. But I don't know. I think maybe the newness factor of this for me gives it a little bit of an edge, and there's so many little things that I haven't quite picked up. I only watched this one twice. So, there's a lot of little things I don't think I picked up on. And one time I watched it on my phone, so that's just not good enough. I would, like, in a pinch, if you asked me, hey, we can only take one movie with us, which one is it going to be, Guyver 1 or 2? I would probably tend to say Guyver 1, but I'm going to give this movie like a very high praise, because I think I do like the direction it goes. It is different. It doesn't have the same vibes, like, really at all of the first one, but it does so many other things so well that I cannot ding it. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, this one, pretty much completely devoid of humor, which is a big part of the first one.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
How about you, Chris?
For me, I mean, the best kind of comparison that I can make is Swamp Thing and Return of the Swamp Thing.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
You know, that first one is so iconic and so beloved.
That's one word for it.
The nostalgia factor. I mean, you know, let's be honest. No, it's not just like these. They're not great movies, but you know, there is that nostalgia factor that kind of holds it a little higher.
Yeah.
And then that second one, it's almost just as good. You know, there's a little bit of advancements on, you know, what you see on film, but it's liked in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
And I would have a hard time just because probably that factor alone of putting it just higher than the original.
It's interesting that you bring up Swamp Thing because, like, yeah, when I watched those movies as a kid, like, as long as I am seeing the Swamp Thing on the screen, I'm having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like that with the first Guyver. It's like, as long as I'm seeing like a weird fucking creature, and some weird things happening on the screen, or Mark Hamill's very confusing mustache, I'm having a good time.
Which,
it's hard.
That's kind of I agree, but that's why this doesn't need to be 2 hours long.
No, I can't
that
argue
exact
at all with
reason
that.
because it's like there's too much of a ratio of like just people talking to the stuff you want to see, which they do give you. Like, it's a decent amount, but it's just like it's too spread out.
Sure.
And I think I am very susceptible to setting fatigue unless that's like the premise of the movie, like it's all going to take place in a bank vault. Or something like that. But when it's just like we're going back and forth between nondescript woods and a cave, I do kind of get tired of it a little bit.
Yeah.
I get that too. And I think rewatches are that'll probably be more apparent. But again, since this was so fresh and new for me, it really was just like, okay, I'm waiting to see that crazy fight again. Here we go. Like, you know, it's still new enough and I'm still absorbing it as opposed to, you know, picking it apart. Basically.
For sure. Yeah. So not to say that I don't enjoy it. Like the things it does well, it does really well. Like
it was a delight.
Special effects, fighting, all great stuff. I love this tokusatsu stuff. The other one that we discussed maybe talking about was another movie quite similar to this, which we may still talk about someday. And I would say, like, if you like this, you should see the Shin Kamen Rider movie that came out a couple years ago. You'll have no idea what's going on, but you'll love it.
That's been on my list for a while. And like, I've seen the trailer a few times and I keep going, I should watch this. I should definitely watch this. I know I'm going to like it when I watch it. I'm just saving it for the right day.
Think you would. So yeah, that's Guyver, Dark Hero, aka Predator 3. Thank you guys for coming on and breathing life into this dead format with me. Tell the fine folks out there where they can find you and anything you've got in the works.
Chris, go. Activate.
Wonder powers.
Guyver.
Activate. Yeah.
Guyver!
Yeah. No, I mean, you can find us at Nerds, Geeks, and the Kitchen Sink podcast and on YouTube. Find us on pretty much all the social media sites. Find me, CDStein69, on Twitter.
I want to shout out Letters to Dracula, my band. I finished a very large project just this week that was kind of what was keeping me from Letters to Dracula. So Letters to Dracula mode engaged. I hope to have a release before the end of the year for anyone who may have enjoyed the previous EP. So we will see how that goes, but that is what I'm working on next. And if you like sort of synthwave, sort of metal, I don't know, it's like sort of like video game music in a way. Sort of John Carpenter meets, I don't know, some kind of metal thing.
Wes Claypool the Third.
There you go. Check that out. Letters to Dracula. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon. It is there, but don't go to Amazon. If you're going to buy it on Bandcamp, but it's free on Spotify or wherever you're listening to the music. Just listen to it for free. I don't care. That's all. Thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, on behalf of Chris and DK, I'm also Chris. This has been another episode of Dead Formats. See you later. On the next episode of Dead Formats, we'll be joined once again by the 5 Day Rentals podcast to discuss yet another straight-to-DVD movie. Here's a hint.
A film by Shower Productions.